Hi, you're listening to the Flow State Fishing Podcast.
All right, we are back. This year I'm getting serious with it. A lot more going on, a lot more people getting involved with it. A few people are liking it. So I'm going to make a bit more effort to obviously pick the audio quality up because I just do it for fun and I like the chat. But I'll put a bit more effort into making sure the audio is good, spending a bit more time editing and trying to structure them a bit more. In saying that, this episode that I'm dropping now, it's a 3-part episode. It was a 4.5 hour podcast. I cut it back to 3.5 hours, and then the last part I cut it into 3 parts, and the third part is just fucking rubbish. So I'm not sure if I'm going to drop it yet. I might drop a snippet, see what you reckon. It's basically nonsense and banter and abuse, a little bit of fishing stuff that goes nowhere, and just 4 drunk blokes hanging shit on each other. It's pretty funny, but the first 2 are quite good. There's some good content in there. Background is I am talking with Team Biohazard, Ben Judd, Kel Shipp, James Park, are all really, really, really good friends of mine. Probably my 3 best friends in Darwin. Fished with them all, had some fat times with them all. Some stories, man, holy shit. Done some shit. So this was sort of one of my send-offs from Darwin. Had a fat time. We got right on the piss. So you'll notice the conversation slowly deteriorates, and a lot of it goes round and round and round and never actually gets to the point. So if you can handle that, you'll hear some great stories, funny laughs, a little bit of info, a little bit of stuff like cracking into the territory, sort of what it's like up here. I won't give too much away without letting you listen, but it is a lot different to a lot of other places around Australia. It's worth having a listen to, especially if you're from down south. So we're talking New South Wales, South Australia, all that sort of stuff. The bottom half of the country, it's a lot different. Hope you guys enjoy. This one is not super structured because we're all on the piss, rotisserie chicken, sitting around a table, having a laugh, fair bit of banter. But in future, I am definitely getting after it a bit more. So if you can bear with me learning the ropes, because I'm just YouTubing how to do all this sort of stuff and slowly getting better. And also, I have got a few companies on board that are giving us a bit of a support. So if you've got the spare, I think it's like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes worth of time, please don't skip past it. Have a listen to the sponsors. We are brought to you by Rod Armour. The boys at Rod Armour, absolute legends. Rod socks, rod wraps, lure wraps, and most recently, their reel covers. Their reel covers are absolutely epic, called Reel Armour, obviously. www.rodarmour.com, and support local fishers that are doing big things in the industry. We are also brought to you by Sportsman Boats Australia. www.sportsmanboats.com.au to view the full range and features. I've been in a Masters 207 for the last 12-18 months. Absolutely fucking love it. Insane boat. Awesome build quality, heaps of options. If you want to get a hold of someone for some pricing, the boys at Castmag Co. can chase all that for you. So Mick and Benny, email mick@sportsmanboats.com.au or ben@sportsmanboats.com.au. They'll chase all the pricing, do all the hard work for you. Hit me up if you want some info on the bay style boats and some of the features. www.sportsmanboats.com.au. Get around it. And finally, we are brought to you by castmag.co, www.castmag.co. Jump on the website. Boys do content creation, epic footage. Leading the fishing game in Australia, in my opinion. The website's loaded with heaps of quality apparel, pop to your drop poppers, stick baits, and jigs. They're there for the passion, not the money, which is more than you can say about most places. Absolutely epic stuff. Hold them close to my heart. Love everyone in the fam. Get around it, www.castmag.co.
Fuck, he was pretty fucked the other night, eh? Fuck, it was funny.
I was.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're not seasoned.
I was fuck-eyed. No, I wasn't really that drunk.
Drinks 5 beers.
I only spewed 5 times the next morning.
On my couch all morning. Actually, all day.
All day.
Even woke up at Sparrow's fart to cook your brekkie.
Ate half it. Spewed the other half up.
Dog ate the half.
I ate the other half. Potato bake last night. The other night didn't fucking last either. It ended up the dog ate that.
Bit like
At
Dirty
least
Bird.
Zeus got a good feed.
But how was your shit this morning?
No. Dirty Bird. Don't eat it.
Dirty Bird. Then you dobbed it up with some more food, though.
What do you reckon, Mick?
is he?
Shit. He's not going to hijack this one.
He'll come out of the bushes, man. There's palms over there. He'll just come running out.
He's doing a podcast.
He'll be holding a cider. I'm here.
Mick's got the flights booked.
I like I'm training.
You bought him a cider too.
Yeah.
I think we need to just tip it on the grass.
Yeah.
Tip it on the
Just
chicken.
sacrifice the cider.
I'll lay on the grass. You can tip it on me.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I'll
It'll never be the same again.
No. It turns you into a real fuckwit.
It's better than craft
so
beer.
Good, he can't defend himself. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's awesome. Fucking.
Gives me a serve on Facebook the other day too.
He
See
did.
that?
Yeah.
Just because you won't shout, you're tired.
I fucking won't either. Well, you won't drink
Has
it,
drinks
cunt.
for you going away. Won't even shout. And then Mick ups me because I up you about it.
Yeah, well, you didn't even turn up anyway.
Yeah, I know.
I had one there before you went hot.
Family duties, bro.
It went hot.
You didn't have a shout the other day.
When shout?
At the pub yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, for your second
Oh, I
farewell
wasn't there.
drinks.
If you just sitting at the other end of the table, wouldn't
Let me
talk to
guess.
me.
I know when you would have shouted too. Happy hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$4 pints.
no.
Dodge. You are dodgy as oh.
The only reason he shouted was because there was only Barney left. We'd already gone home. He's like, 1 pint. Yeah, that's
Tactical.
a good shout. Cheap
Dodgy.
shout. Cheap dog.
Dodgy as.
Fucking hell. So I'm here with a bunch of shit cunts.
Ooh.
Bit rough. Bit rough.
And Team Biohazard.
And Team Biohazard. Yeah, so these boys, I'm up in Darwin. These are boys I fish with fairly often, really good mates with and stuff. All three of them fish together.
Back off with the good mates thing, mate, would you?
Well, we're acquaintances.
Yeah, that's
You're
fair.
the three most of my most liked people out of everyone I hate.
Yeah, that's
The least,
fair
you're the
call.
least hated out of all my friends.
Yeah, we'll take that.
No, we're not friends.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so these boys fish comps together and stuff. We're going to talk a bit about that. We may as well do a bit of a background of who's who in the zoo. Who the fuck are you, Kel?
Nobody. I'm just an entity.
All Southerners.
Yes,
Actually, yeah,
go the
everything.
Blues.
Every
Up the
single one.
Blues.
Go the Blues.
Well, Parksy's even south of the Blues. He's a fucking proper,
I've been up here for the longest, though.
yeah.
Well and truly. So I'm probably... The NT boys won't classify me as an NT boy, but I'm taking credit for it.
How long you got to be in the NT for? It's 12 years or something, isn't it?
I've done 15, I think.
Yeah,
Close
no, you're
enough.
still a blow-in.
So, yeah.
If you were born here, you're still a blow-in.
Yeah, true.
Basically.
It's pretty hard to get the NT recognition up here, though.
They won't
The
either.
boys are pretty hard on it.
Fucking
You've just about got to supply the birth certificate with NT on it to get it. It's pretty bad.
Unless you're from Adelaide, then you're just straight in.
Yeah, it's honorary NT. Yeah. So until you want to go fishing, and it's like, nah, get out. You're from Adelaide.
Oh, I won't even bother with the intros, I suppose, because that's just boring. We've got Kel Shipp, James Park, and Ben Judd. Do you want Insta handles plugged with all my
up to you,
3
mate.
followers?
What, with all my
My
baby
three-
photos?
My three,
Go like my baby photos.
my three followers, all your fucked up memes.
Shut up, Mick.
I think he wants another cider, bro. He wants another cider.
Yeah, he's fucking.
I've only got one, Mick.
Oh, well, he's had one of these. Oh, your rotisserie's off. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Yeah, we
what,
probably
you
got
turn it
speaking of
off? Turn the
rotisserie.
coals off?
We've got like a bit of Subla rotisserie chicken happening here too in the background. Sweating our balls off while Mick's carrying on about having one cider and being blind.
Bloody gummy bears.
No, Kel actually made made Mick out of a pillow, so he's sitting here with us. A pillow and a couple of stockings and a pair of socks.
Same intellect.
They're up, you Guthrie.
He's probably going to drink as many ciders as Mick does too. So
Have as many shouts.
Fuck. Well, let's talk. Let's go comps first. So Team Biohazard, first year in the Classic this year.
Oh.
Let's talk about the Classic first. Let's
let's
talk about.
not.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about. Yeah, let's talk about the comps. So let's talk about Barra Classic first. So there's bit of background. There's two major comps up here. Like the two, pretty much a bit of competition now down south. But they're two of the pretty much biggest Barra comps, monetary wise, I guess, in Australia at the moment. The Barra Classic and the Barra Nationals. So the Barra Classic's ran by the Darwin Game Fishing Club. The Barra Nationals is run by the Palmerston Game Fishing Club. slightly different rule sets and stuff. Same river, similar sections, a little bit different sections of river. About the same amount of boats, eh?
No,
Nationals always run a few more.
Yeah, Nationals run like 70 odd
more.
boats, and
they
then
have the last
Classic's
couple
like
of years, yeah.
50, eh?
Yeah, about 55.
Yeah, for the Classic. Yeah, so these boys, you hear that squeaky? I can hear it clean as day.
Mick!
Leave the fucking toy alone. No, it's fine.
Got his
It's fine, don't
flashlight.
No, it's fine. It's all right. It can squeak. Yeah, so these boys, you have all fished the Classic. No, you haven't yet, have
I
you?
did.
Yeah.
So
I
parts
did one. I'd done 5 or 6 nationals before the Classic,
Yep.
and then me and Kel
Parksy.
spoke about maybe doing the Classic one year,
Yeah.
and then it just so happened that everything aligned last year, and
Yep.
Kel was in one team, Judd is in another team, and then we sort of
Yeah.
spoke and went, you know what,
Meshed it together.
let's put a team in, and we did, and had a fat old time. So
Fucking
it's
not
good.
wrong. Blind. I fished in a
That's-
different team, and I was having a fucking
Yeah, you had a great time. didn't you?
pretty quiet time.
Hey?
And these cunts
Team
are
fuel
blind
burner.
by like
Hey?
7 a.m. every day.
Yeah, what was your team name again?
What was that team name?
Team Fuel Burner.
Fuel
Fuel
Burner.
Burner.
Fuel Burner.
Fuel burner.
Up and down. We've done some Ks.
Should have been Team Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Team Angry Wade, anyway.
Yeah.
Now. Fuck. You just made me remember all that fucking cunt of a week.
do you want me to divulge why you're Team Angry?
Oh, you can.
We've got to do it.
Yeah, go on. May as well.
We're here
We'll
now.
set the scene. We're down a Classic. I think it might have even been day 1 or day 2. It might have been day 2, I think.
It was probably the pre-fish that he got.
It was pretty early.
It already
on,
spat
and
the dummy.
It's a 5-day comp, by the way, with pre-fish day, like orientation day, pre-fish day, and people
Juniors.
normally go down there like a week or 2 early and fuck around and get their
Waste fuel.
bearings and shit. Yeah, waste fuel.
We'd all pretty much established that the river was fucked. Like, it was no good. Everyone had just
It
gone
was the
down and-
worst comp results ever
Yeah.
in the history of the 36 years of the comp.
Yeah, something like that. So we decided we're just going to grind it out, and then we just stayed in this one area, and we see Wade go past in the morning, and he's sort of happy, and his old man sitting up the front, and he's always happy. He was happiest bloke on the boat. And then, what, 10
He was
minutes?
the only one drinking piss. That's all.
Yeah, true. What, 10, 15 minutes later, Wade comes past, not smiling, but still not unhappy at that stage.
Gave
So we
us a little wave.
Yeah, a little wave.
Little
Yeah.
wave.
Or arms folded as usual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
of fingers up.
We kept fishing, and then another 10, 15 minutes later, back the other way, they come past again. Wade, arms folded very, very tight by the time they come past. this time.
Lip dragging on the cast deck
Lip
too.
dragging, and we're like, "Oh, what are these boys doing? They're doing a few Ks up and down. They must have some spots or what's going on." And then we just kept poking that same area, trying to pull a fish here or there, and then 10, 15 minutes later again,
It was.
back they come past again, and by then Wade was ready to box. Proper angers,
fight, bud.
steam coming out the ears, and we're like, I wonder what's going on that boat. Mind you, the whole time, Wade's old man up the front, hey boys, what's going on? Big waves,
Sending.
carrying on. Yeah, sending it proper.
Sending.
Yeah, did you see that?
He's all day fit though.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you
he's-
can't have 1 or 2 before bed like Wade.
No, he's proper piss fit. Fucking, did you see the footage of the drive-bys? The drive-throughs? So you do on day 1 when all the boats leave, they drive past the pontoon
Yeah.
and you get your photo, you get like a bit of footage and your photos taken and shit in your uniform and your boat and that. And we come past and Dad was standing with me, had a fucking big
Oh, the spider!
up his fucking leg.
Shit, that was too good, eh?
A big spider up his fucking leg. So right as we go past the video camera that gets aired and shit on the news, come past and this big huntsman run up the inside of Dad's shorts and he's swatting at his dick, trying to get this spider out of his jaw.
But wasn't it on the boat before that? Like, someone seen it or
We
something
seen
and
it,
tried to
actually,
get
yeah,
rid
it
of
was.
it, and then
It was
crawled up him?
because fucking Brad won't wash his boat. This huntsman was living in there, and then it come out from behind over the top of the sounder and then disappeared down into the console depths of somewhere, and then all of a sudden it reappeared up Dad's leg. And
during the sail
during the
pass.
sail pass
That gets aired on
live
news.
TV. Yeah, and then there's a big fucking clip of him on the news swatting his dick on 7 News. I think it was
I can
7
remember
News.
you telling us that story when we were having beers, that Arvo, and I'm like, oh yeah, sick, cool story. And then we actually seen it come across the thing, and everyone's just like pointing and laughing at it.
Fucking funny.
That was a tough year though.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was pretty brutal.
Tough year, you reckon?
So,
Not the toughest year I've had.
We'll get back to that. Kel's just going to do a shit.
He's getting beers, mate. It's his shout. They
Your
don't-
shout.
Well, they don't come out in ones either.
What do you think this is?
So they're not ciders. They're not ciders. Definitely beers coming out there.
Yeah, so for those people, all my three listeners that give a fuck, and
Trouble is, we're the ones talking to.
Nick, you want a cider?
Yeah.
Mick's out there chewing the
No, I'm
fucking.
good. Oh, yeah, I'll leave the bourbons alone for a bit.
I'm not banging it.
Yeah, so why? So a bit of background on the Daly River. No, actually, you tell it. So
How much background you want?
well, let's go back of what the Daly is like as a river, and then go why the last couple of years, few years, or like why it's been deteriorating since like what 2012. Why has it been going bad?
It wouldn't be that
a
far
little
back.
bit more.
It's only a couple
Like-
of years.
I mean, we were talking the other day, like
Yeah.
2011 to me, when I was up here, 2011 was by far the best year I had up here.
Yep.
And like I said to you guys the other day, like I wish I had have known then what I know now.
Oh,
because,
fuck.
oh my God, there would have been a lot more fish on the
Yeah,
boat. We still did
scales
well,
everywhere.
but there would have been so many more, you know. The techniques now are so different to what they were then. But it's that rain, that's the killer. That
Yeah.
We just haven't had it for 2 years, you know.
Yeah.
Or even 3 years, you know. It just hasn't been there. The river hasn't had the flush.
Yeah.
The fish haven't moved in. It's just been.
Well, there was a banker the year before, but just that last
Yeah, well, it
year
got to
there
like
was
14
nothing.
14 metres the year before, didn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
So-
Banker, like I went over the banks.
Yeah.
Fucking smart.
Didn't stay out last year, though. It only
Yeah.
got to, what, 6? Or...
Well, the
Oh,
last,
no, nothing.
last
Well,
good
It's
year
like a
we
little
had.
piss dribble.
Yeah.
Last good year we had would have been what 2016.
Yeah, it bankered
proper
the
for
two
the
previous
year.
years for a bit.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I'll give a bit of background on the
those
Daly first. So it's a lot of it's spring fed, hey, like up
Top
top.
is, yeah,
The top of
is
it's
just
spring fed.
constantly
So
spring-fed,
yeah.
it feeds. What's the other river that feeds into the Daly? So like at Catherine, that junction's there.
It goes Vic River, Fergus. Where's the Ferguson go?
I think that's it. Yeah, you look it up. So the Daly goes back like 300 odd. Sorry, the Catherine is like 300 odd k's inland of Darwin, straight south basically, and the top of the Daly is sort of up that way, and it even feeds in earlier than that, doesn't it?
Above it.
Like above it, like the Catherine River feeds into it. doesn't
Catherine feeds straight in.
Yeah, it's got a massive
Yeah, and that all
catchment.
runs
There's
out
like
to
3
the
or 4.
road.
Huge
Yeah, the
catchment.
Catherine. The
Yeah,
catchment's
Roper.
huge. It's spring fed, and there's also a lot of floodplain influence. I haven't got any facts here, but
local floodplain
Yeah.
and up the top floodplain.
And up the
It's
top
huge,
floodplain,
yeah.
yeah,
So
so-
the catchment area is huge,
Yeah.
absolutely huge.
so up here we have like obviously wet season, which is like your early summer months, like December, January, February, when it actually fucking rains.
Yeah, sometimes.
So basically what happens is it fills up all of the floodplains, billabongs and stuff like that, and then bait spawn, like insects, small fish, bigger fish eat small fish, like, yeah, just everything just blows right up. Then it drains out, so it got to go somewhere, so it drains out through small creeks and stuff back into main river systems, and then that influences like recruitment for the next few years. Recruitment being like, we'll talk about Barra. So
Barra.
Barra breeding, and then what I guess goes through like they spawn in what September to those big.
I think it'd probably depends on the wet.
It depends on
would
the
be my
season.
guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact, but
I need to get
obviously it
Pe-
depends. It
I need to
needs-
get Pearly here, but
Yeah.
like
Just summon him.
yeah, Pearly help. Yeah. So anyway, the wet season and the amount of rain we get, in a nutshell, wet season and the amount of rain we get influences the recruitment for future years. Basically, if you get a good wet season, you get a good. We call it runoff. So it's when everything's receding back inside its banks, and you get all of that floodplain bait fish and stuff like that coming into main river systems, and yeah, big Barra mecca.
The other
There's just
thing,
lots of Barra mecca.
The other
yeah.
thing with that too, that flooding does, is it releases all the big Barra that have been in the billabongs for
Yeah.
2 years that sit
Yeah.
up on the floodplains. It releases them into the system.
into the main system.
So when it floods, there's more fish go back into those billabongs and get trapped in there.
yeah,
They get bigger and then they release. If we don't
Yeah.
get that flood,
yeah,
those fish don't get
I
released,
think
you know?
the key factor this year to how bad it was it didn't get that flush and it just built up with silt and it was just that dirty.
Yeah, it was a
Like
dog shit river.
Oh, don't talk
Them
to me about
boys
silt.
running the Hummingbird gear were just like, can't see the bottom, like can't even see fish, can't
Running
see
it.
anything.
Running at 455.
Yeah.
You have to because it's so fucking
It
dirty.
was so bad.
Well, prime example of that silts, when we went down for the Barra series, we hadn't been down there for 12 months, pretty much. And we drove down on the Friday night, and you and Juddy fishing together were already down there.
Yeah.
And we've got down there, we've gone to a spot down there, tackle box, a lot of blokes up here know the spot, and we've pulled up to it, we'll just have a sound over it late Friday night on the way down, had a couple of beers under the belt, thought, all right. So we got coupler. We got
That's why we checked it because we thought.
Yeah. So in the territory, there is no boat licensing. So and you don't need a marine license. So you can be fucking blind.
But
on
we
the
are
water.
super responsible.
We're responsible.
Yeah, put a whole
We
bucket
only
of
send
fucking
it proper.
Redskins in a bottle
Inverted
of vodka.
commas.
Inverted commas.
We only send it proper when we're anchored up for the night. Come on.
Boy, when you see
Sometimes.
liquid diet, which is a 610 pimped out fucking top ender that Parksy owns, when anchor's down, that's when you pull up the side
Even
of it
game
and
on.
you have a fucking fat time.
Don't scratch it though.
Yeah, don't scratch it because you'll soak.
It's got a few now. So.
But so, lost me train of thought.
But yeah, we were
fucking shit.
we checked that spot
we were going
though.
down to the tackle box to
which
have a
is
look.
which is like, I'm just trying to
What
explain
is it?
everything.
It's about-
I'm just trying to explain
so
everything
we've-
for people who don't understand.
It's about 15 foot deep,
Yeah,
usually.
Generally 12 to 15
With
foot. Yeah.
laydowns, big trees,
Specific.
laydowns, heaps of snags.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
somewhere you troll timber.
troll or cast, whatever. And then or was it last year? Tebs, yeah. We went down, that was when Wade had the brand new Hummingbird in his boat. And I actually thought it wasn't reading correctly because it's saying 6 foot. And I'm like, no, this is
Well,
not right.
That's what we're done.
Exactly what we're
I
done.
said his
We went up.
transducer's playing up.
We went over it and we're like, nah, that's not right. Like we said, a few jars under. That's not right. Went back, over it again. It's like, nah. So I said, Kel, hold the steering wheel. So we go over it again. I think I grabbed the lure pole.
No, you pulled a rod out.
Oh,
of
rod.
Rod out of the rod
Good
armor.
rod neglection here. Grabbed the rod, straight over the side,
Into the mud.
straight in the mud.
Oh fuck.
It was like
That's how
five.
shallow it was.
Oh, we were just like the whole river's 6 foot deep.
Yeah, well, remember
That was it.
we sounded
We
it,
can-
and so this round, I'll get on to what top end barra series or Tebs is in a minute. But this round was the first. Excuse me, big burp.
It's all-
I've
it's
got
all
all that on,
semen.
that's fucking on there too. So this is the first round. I not long got my sportsman masters, and I just put a 15-inch Hummingbird Solix on it, and that was the first trip we did where I used it. So we got down to this fucking spot. Yeah, I was blind too.
This was sound asleep by the time we seen New Mob.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
woke
that's-
up and you just
that's-
come past because
yeah.
you just
Yeah, we
fucking
could hear you
carry
coming.
on.
Oh, we just had the tunes cranking.
Yeah. So anyway, we got down to
Get up,
tackle box and we sounded it, and I thought, because I had a brand new sound, I was like, nah, this sound is fucked. Something's dropped. Your kid's fucking carrying on, Juddy.
She's all right.
Or was it Mick?
She's just sick of
Oh,
your
no,
voice.
it's Mick. Mick's drank his cider again.
He wants another one.
Mick, you need more than one, man. Have a beer, bro. It's not that bad.
Yeah, so we went down there and I thought my sounder was fucking up because we couldn't see all the timber and stuff. It's like big timber laydowns, like Juddy said. And
It's called tackle box for a reason, isn't it?
basically, oh man, imagine if there wasn't Crocs and you could fucking snorkel through that. You'd get
Juddy'd be able,
I'd be
Juddy'd be able to get
retire
another 50
early,
lures
mate.
that he doesn't need.
bazillions of
I'd
lures.
get all the lures.
Yeah, that's not me.
Don't
just
need
go
any,
down
but
and
I'll
look at
get
them.
him.
Yeah, and fucking, I was tripping out because I thought my sounder was fucked, but it was just a silt because of poor wet seasons, not flooding and flushing the river. Because normally, like remember what was it? 2015, 2016 when it really pumped. No, it was 2016 when it was like 14 meters, eh?
Yeah.
And there was fucking like trees.
There's fish everywhere too.
Before that, it actually sealed up again. I remember going down there, probably 2012 or 2013, because we had, like I said before, that good 2011 year. I reckon 2012 or 2013, we went down to tackle box again, man. A mate that I used to fish with, and same thing. We went down there and all the timber was gone, and we were like, it kind of just like it's not just going to blow away, like because it's heavy timber down there.
Yeah.
And the only thing we could put it down to was it sealed it up. And then the next year must have been when we had that big 14 metre flood and they
Yep.
evacuated the community. it obviously blew all that mud out, that silt out, and then all of a sudden, bang, the timber's back again.
Yeah.
Probably pretty important to say that the Daily's lined with paper bark trees and not just like mangrove trees where they lay down and deteriorate and they're gone within a couple of years. Like those paper bark trees hang around for a long
big
time.
dead motherfuckers, and it's a nasty river, like full of shallow. It's we'll get about that.
Thing about it.
But when it's flooding, what I did want to say, there's like trees floating down the river that are like 2 meters, like diameter, like straight across,
proper,
like diameter,
proper trees,
like fucking
like full
trees,
tree.
man. And you're tearing down there.
Full paper bark tree.
Yeah, and we do overnighters in the boat where like 2 nights, 3 nights, drinking piss, sanding down in the middle of the night, fucking just a spotty on you, like a cheap eBay LED spotty.
We're responsible though.
Bulk's responsible, man. No one drinks and drives.
So I used to, when we did it in my little boat, when I had the little 4.5 metre top ender, in the flood, we used to fish it in 10 metres. So you can imagine those big trees are still coming down in 10 metres. I used to sleep on my swag on the cast deck, and I kept a knife at the front of the boat, just simply because if a big tree hit that anchor rope,
you can cut it.
This was before I had a lecky, obviously. You could cut it before it dragged, because
there's been boat swamp because they.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. We'll talk about tidal bores too. May as well touch on that too. So
mad are they?
Yeah. So people go and fish the Daily in fucking little tiny tinnies.
You're not trying to scare you off the Daily.
Nah, the Daily's it's a beautiful.
Daily's horrible. Don't go. Don't go.
Actually,
stay away from it. No fish in it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's no fish in
it.
it.
At the moment, there's no fish in it.
There's these little
true.
Like Daily's been historically fished. If you look up a bit of the stuff, like a lot of pro fishers back in the 80s. No, before that.
Oh, before.
Way before that. Like neck and meteries, fucking selling fillets and shit.
They're still pulling fish out of the mouth now, which is
basically
pretty controversial.
Yeah, fucking netters.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's another whole hour.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And fucking, so there's these little tinnies and they anchor up, and then you get a tidal bore because the Daily's so long. So where you put in is 100 k's. The ramp to the mouth would be 90 to 100 k's.
Yeah, it's 90.
Clear's 60 odd, and then it's 30 something.
Yeah, so it's basically we'll say 100 k's. Say 100 k's the ramp. So and on a spring tide, which up here you get 7.5 meters of movement, sometimes 8, depending on what time of year it is, of tidal movement, and it'll change up at the ramp. It'll still be coming in, and then downstream it will be running. No, other way around. So it'll be running out up at the ramp, and then.
What are you, fucking weatherman?
Well, fuck. Yeah, I'm not explaining this. You explain it. No, I'm going.
There's a lot quicker ways.
It's running out of the ramp.
There's a lot quicker ways to do this.
We'll just correct you when you're wrong.
Yeah, Juddy's. We should be using Juddy for the facts. Because Juddy's full of facts.
No. Not yet.
Anyway, long river, big tide.
Basically, so
tidal bore.
So it's running out.
You got 2 tidal movements on the one river.
On one river, yeah. So it's running out at the ramp. By the time you get halfway down to the mouth, then what? Oh, I thought you said something. Yeah, by the time you get halfway down the mouth, it's already coming in, so that you got water running out against water running in, and it creates this like wave, basically.
Well,
it is.
The other thing that creates it too is the mouth of the Daily, if you look on a map, is huge. Like that Anson Bay area is absolutely massive.
Nearly as big as Juddy's
So
mouth.
when you've got that amount of, that's a very rough call. You've got 7 meters of movement pushing in a big bay that then funnels back into. Oh, yeah, right.
Dick pic.
Juddy's getting dick pics again. You've got 7 meters of movement pushing in a big bay. It's then funneling, 12 inches, Juddy.
7 meters of movement in a big bay.
That's funneling into one creek, obviously, and it's very shallow at the mouth. Like, you guys have run the mouth sandbar more than I have.
That thing is a death trap.
You imagine that movement of water. Yeah, definitely. That movement of water, all of a sudden it's like you've got 2 feet, 3 feet wave coming at you over the sandbars. It's mental. And then that just keeps compressing as that river gets narrower and narrower, and then it's mental. Some of the footage you see of it is how those blokes in those little tinnies, like there had to have been tinnies that have gone over. Yeah. Had to.
And the fucking big pooks in there, man. Like crocodiles fuck me dead.
Couple of foot wave.
2-3 feet.
It'll raise
through the
like,
S-bends.
At the right time, you'll just see this wave coming up the creek full of bait and shit everywhere. Yeah, you can hear it roaring up there. And then all of a sudden, it hits your boat and then the water level is raised a metre.
Sounds like a helicopter coming up the river, and then if you're under power and driving down the river at night, you can't see it until you've hit it, and all you can hear is your outboard just
Boom! We hit it one year in the classic. It was like
fucking.
I remember it was one Tebs actually. We were camped up there and we got up pretty early. It was big tides, and you could hear it coming, and we knew what was happening. So we pulled anchor, or Parksy's got an electric anchor, so we sat there and pulled anchor.
I used my finger.
I pulled anchor. And then there were still people that were asleep under anchor, and I was just like screaming at them, like, get up, there's a tidal bore coming. And like, boats nearly flipped. People got like their anchors pulled and washed up creeks, and it was, it's pretty gnarly when it happens.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And then, so there's a community on the banks sort of up, basically, we'll just say near the boat ramp. There's a community that lives pretty much on the river, and they basically chopper out. When it's like consecutive good wet seasons, 10 metres or 12 metres they evacuate?
No, it's
That'd be-
13
13 metres, yeah. And there's like
Start
fucking
getting ready around
crocs swimming
12.
through town and shit. All the camp dogs fuck off.
Yeah, they get fucked off pretty quick.
Yeah, so it's a really like, and then you go all the way from the mouth, which is like mangroves and stuff like that, and then you come up and you start getting to this. I don't know, you sort of call it brackish salt, but it's brackish.
Yeah,
So
it's brackish, definitely brackish.
like cane grass, like almost like bamboo type
Yep.
shit, and then it goes like semi-fresh mangroves, and then it goes all the way up into raw big tea trees like paper barks and like gum and stuff. Hits the crossing, which is 15 k's above the ramp. No, a bit more than that.
Maybe more than that.
30 k's
heaps
above the
more.
ramp.
Yeah,
Way
30,
more actually.
30, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Yeah.
So then the crossing, which was the old school crossing before decent roads were built.
Put the bridge in.
Put the bridge in, yeah. So, and then above the crossings, more of that, and it basically flows 24/7, 365
I never
days a year.
factor in that there's that bridge, Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think
Yeah,
about it.
you don't
Have you
realise
been
it's
up?
there.
Have you been up under it yet?
Yeah.
I haven't been up under it yet. It'd blow my mind if I come around that corner. I was like, oh, hang on.
Yeah,
I've driven
What's
over
that?
it with the water like nearly level to the bottom,
Oh, true.
and it's just like I know what's under there. This is fucked.
nasty shit.
Like, so much water.
I think the daily for me, personally, like, because I've been up here like 15, 16 years now. That's the river that I fish the most when I
Yeah.
first come up here, and which is
Cut your
ridiculous
teeth on.
because it's probably
It's a
true.
fucking river to cut your teeth on too.
Because it's probably like it's
Fuck
the
yeah,
rivers
that-
up here are pretty
Oh.
gnarly, and that's probably one of the gnarliest.
And it's
to
one of the
get
hardest
down.
to fish too, I reckon,
And
technique-wise.
I think those reasons, like you was explaining how the land changes on it.
Yeah.
I think that's why I love it so much down there.
It's a
'Cause you
beautiful
can-
place.
If you fish up the top and it's like all good, then you, like you say, you go down 20 k's and all of a sudden the river changes. It's like in a different place, you know.
basically.
The watercolor changes, the banks change, the whole structure of your fishing changes.
Clarity-
I think
clarity
massively.
changes,
I
like-
think that's why it's got such an appeal to so many people up here. It's just
It's fucking
it's an
beautiful.
amazing river. Like
Yeah.
I know Kel's the same as me. Like
Kel's daughter,
exactly
just FYI, Kel's daughter is named Daly,
for that reason.
basically.
That's why as soon as
So-
Wade mentioned the Daily River, that's all we've talked about because
Yeah.
we love it.
Basically,
It's just an amazing part of the territory.
When it goes.
When
When
it
it's
goes.
fucking-
I mean, but let's be honest, though, even if it doesn't go, if you're just going
Beautiful
down there for
place.
a social weekend without trying to kill
Oh,
the
if
pig,
you don't
mind
have
you,
expectations,
we're all pretty competitive, so we all go down there to try and get as many fish as we can. But even if you don't, like, it's just an amazing river to spend a weekend on.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so
all those
nice.
people come up from down south, and they go there in the dry season, hire boats. There's like all these little, you call them farms, I
Cherubim
guess.
chokers.
Cherubim
I think that one of
There's a bit of hate
the
in that voice,
best
Jody.
things
Yeah.
about it is because it's so hard to fish and figure out that it's not one of them places where you can just go and just chuck a lure
Fuck
in
around,
and you'll
that's a
catch
good-
fish. Yeah, like that. That's for us as fishermen. That's the best part about it.
That's
like,
the
it's
good
a
and bad,
challenge,
though, isn't it? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
good and bad. You think I've got this,
And when
I've
you
got
nail
this.
it, you think you got a dot, and you go back to the same thing, and you just get
on the
fisted.
exact same tides, on the exact same moon,
We've
in
done
the
that.
exact same situation.
everything.
We've done that
fucked.
year after year. Our trip we do every year.
Yep.
We did that
mind you,
today.
we didn't do it last year.
Yeah, fuck. That was a whole different
Me and Wade did
situation.
that today. Not at the Daily though.
Nah, different spot, but fuck me.
I
So
just put it down to being poor fishermen. That's it.
basically, it's just
Yeah,
the
we're
Barra
just
don't like
shit
us.
fishermen. So
Fucking only threw 40 different lures.
It's pretty rough when you find them and you just can't even get a bite, though, man.
Hey man, what's your biggest fish this year?
89 this year.
It's bong round. Fuck, I thought I had a bit of shit on you then.
no, it's New Year.
New
Ah, it is too.
Yeah.
Biggest
Yours
fish
was like
this year.
22.
No, I'm 0, I think, this year.
Yes, I
I haven't nailed a barrow this year yet.
I finally got a bigger fish at Parks.
I've only done one trip this year. I did that leaders trip the other day and didn't turn a scale.
I don't even know.
You got me good then.
I don't think I've measured
So you're
a fish.
donut too.
Yeah, you are.
We got one at Mountain, didn't we?
No, I did.
Yeah, you
just
did.
didn't catch it.
I got a
There's
barra
no
at
fish at
Mountain.
Mountain.
Did you?
Yeah, that was
Nah,
a
you got
small
the toga,
purple.
bro. You got the
I got the big toga, yeah, well.
That don't count, bro.
Can't
Juddy,
even
hey,
think.
Juddy got the fish at trip, bro. Just ask Wade.
Oh, the
Dirty
sooty.
old sooty.
Oh, sooty.
Yeah.
Hey,
Love it.
Wait,
For the
dirty
gram.
old
This
sooty.
fucking, I'm diverse. These cunts are just barra, and
Listen
I
to
do
it.
everything.
Yeah, we
Dude,
know
you're
that.
chasing.
I'm
you're
not
chasing
done talking
dollar-
about the daily yet. But
You're chasing dollar
You shouldn't
20s.
need to
You don't get a
downgrade
sooty.
your gear just to cater for the fish.
nah, it's
He already does.
me,
He
dude.
went to the daily with like a 10.
These things
like
are
a
good. They
4-pound
rip
rod.
string on a 1,000.
10-pound rod.
You might as well start drinking ciders, bro. Serious. You might as well, eh? Like
He had a
That's a
chance.
full
you've been
flex
hanging
every-
around Mick way too
Oh
long.
man.
He had a chance today to catch a decent fish on a decent rod because he was using my gear, but no 10-pound gear.
Couldn't
Oh.
cast a cunt that was like fucking casting wire,
Juddy using a 100-pound leader again.
No,
basically.
no.
You're not using that shit off dinger again, were
Sorry, you want to talk about the daily still, didn't you?
I did. It's fucking good. But I
No.
you? No, I'm calling podcast. What? During the comps. You got to do a podcast
I will.
during the
I'm going to
comps.
come down.
Yeah, give a shout out to Flow State to go to the Barra Classic, and then you'll hear some real stories.
I think we will. I think we should. Fuck. me,
Don't
Dad.
barrel us it.
You
You got
gotta-
6 o'clock in
Yeah,
now,
you're
mate.
going to have to do Bluetooth mics, though, and just
Yeah,
mic
and
up
just let
people
mic
that are
cunts, yeah.
fully lit.
And
Just
The
sleep
Barra-
in and
But
then
surely they
rock
won't
up
do
at
the
like
Nationals.
1 o'clock in the
There's
morning.
heaps
The
more people lit at
Nationals.
the Nationals.
how lit is the Nationals, James?
There's heaps more people lit at the Nationals.
What do you mean amphetamine?
I'll go,
Fucking Persian
I'll
rugs
go back
everywhere.
through some history with the Nationals and the Classic. Like,
Persian
the
rugs
5 or
everywhere.
6 that I've done down the daily at the Nationals. The whole time, all I heard was, "Don't do the Classic. It's an old man's comp. Don't do the Classic. It's an old man's comp." Flat out. That's all I heard. And then all you guys fish the Classic. So I'm like, oh, what do I do here? Do I swing to the Classic? Do I stay at the Nationals? And I'm like, oh, I'll go to the Classic for a look. Took a bit of convincing. We got the team together, went to the Classic, and then it's like, hang on a minute, old man comp. There's no old man comp here. These boys go just as hard as what the Nationals boys go. So I don't know where the old comp mentality come from. It probably come from years ago, I suppose.
Probably from you
when the old
being there.
boys. Yeah, probably me. Yeah, background. I'm the old guy here at the table, Grandpa. So, Juddy, got the headphones on, mate.
Yeah.
You're good now. Wade's just
Wade's
gone
left,
to.
so-
He's probably gone to have another spew. Actually, he's probably gone to see if Mick needs another.
Yeah,
cider.
there is.
Oh, there he go.
Hey, Mick!
Right. Hey, Mick! You want a cider, Mick?
He's got around the side for a piss. I thought he needed to sit down to piss.
Yeah.
Well,
Squat and piss.
how'd you go, mate?
I'm running this pod state
Do you have a sit down or not?
podcast now.
You have a sit down? Yeah, we thought so.
Well,
So, Jody,
Oh,
thoughts on
thanks.
the daily, bro? Come on. I've spoken enough about the daily.
yeah.
We want a
you're
prediction. Give us a
You're pretty
prediction.
tight on your daily stuff, so start laying a bit
Yeah.
out, mate.
Still learning it. It's been a good year. No.
You don't
Not.
ever unlearn the daily.
Nah.
You always learn.
Like
the
Parksy,
fucking
like Parksy said, it. Even what I've done a few classics now, and you'll go down one day, you'll have a good day, put plenty of points on the board, and go, yep, we got it sorted. We're looking up the top. Next day, she done. You got to relearn it again, and it proved it this year or last year now.
Yeah, last year now.
We found fish, and we get a couple of rats off it. Mark big fish, wouldn't feed.
How bad were those big fish?
They were all
That
just
was
dolphins.
So bad. Yeah, they must have been.
No,
No,
they were-
one believed us, eh? No one believed us who marked them fish.
They were
They were
sharp.
definitely
Those
there.
screenshots we had, like, they were just.
Yeah, I got the screenshots to back up what we're saying. Like, people are saying there's no fish in there. Well, we sat on fish for probably 3 hours.
You hook one of them though.
Yeah. If they're not barra, well, for the last 10
But
years,
everyone-
I've been looking at something different.
Everyone drove over the top of them, though. That's what I loved about it. They were all looking at us like, what are you guys doing here? Everyone
Yeah.
just drove over, kept going.
Oh, he's going to be fucking...
Yeah, Johnny's taking over, bro.
I
He's
was
got
like,
the
who the fuck's
headphones.
my headphones?
He's
Yeah, I
taking over.
got this blowing over here,
MC.
Wade Kelly.
Johnny's gone fucking Ray Martin on there.
I'm running this show now.
He's running the Mango Show.
Nah. So, yeah, can't wait to get back down the daily anyway. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Still have a good time, like Parksy said. It's
Story on the daily, which shows how much it can be the greatest, like the reason why we all love it and the way it can absolutely kick your ass as well.
oh yeah.
Kel and I do a trip. Well, we didn't do it last year because we both decided we wanted to have kids. Well, that puts a stop to
Yeah,
fishing a
my
little bit
penis
at
done that.
times. Yeah, well,
You what?
that happens.
Benes.
Don't worry, Wade. It won't be long. Don't worry. But we do the trip every year, and we've gone down. It's a long weekend. We went down, spent the first day. We got a few fish. Didn't get a lot of fish, but got a few fish. I'm pretty sure. Was it the first night we got the angry fish? Was that the first night? Second night.
No, that was the first
night.
First night.
So
and I hadn't cracked the meter yet.
No. So we'd been casting. It was big spring tides, and we've been casting flat out, like just
Big
working
spring
away.
tides on top of
Massive.
a run-off.
I don't want to hear
run-off,
this
so
story
full
again.
run-off.
You've
you
heard
go to
this a few
bed.
times. And we were just casting eddies and working timber and
We're ticking fish over.
just thinking about it.
couple
Nothing
here and there.
crazy, just a few. And then the tide was going to turn late in the day, just before dark. So we thought, we'd had a few beers by then. We'll just put the rods out and troll the pushing tide. So we're trolling the pushing tide, and we'd done a bit of a run, and then all of a sudden, Kel's like, yep, I'm on. I'm like, rod just buckling in the rod holder, because we take it pretty casual when we're trolling the pushing tide. There's rods
More
in the
about the
rod
music and the
It's more about the
beers.
music and the
Trolling,
beers,
yeah.
yeah, that's right. So the chance of a big girl. Kel's hooked this fish, and we've caught a few big fish over the years and seen a few big fish caught, and this thing just went absolutely rank. And
It went
Kel-
doggy. It went full doggy.
Kel at that stage had never caught $1, bar over a metre, and we were like, this might be it. And I'm driving the boat, and I'm getting him on the right-hand side of the boat, making sure the fish is in the right spot. I got the net down, me ready. He's like, no, not yet, it's still down. And it's going round to go under the boat again. So we turn the boat, and to go under the boat again. And we turn the boat, and we're just basically doing donuts in the middle of the river. This thing just would not give up at all.
There was 2 boats floating with us watching us, and they gave up and just left.
It was fucking around.
dogged.
It went for
he
like
was
15 minutes, man.
proper
A 90-centimetre fish. Oh, it was
full-
97.
wasn't- 90
Like, side of the face or something.
No, it was hooked proper. It's,
Down the
to this,
gullet,
to this
like,
day,
hanging out its arsehole.
all the big fish I've ever seen caught, that is still the angriest fish I've ever seen in my life. It just went
the
nuts.
first net shot that you went to take, it come up and it head-butted the side of the boat. And I'm like, this thing just wants blood.
It was
Like-
mental, proper mental. We finally got it.
It was Wade Kelly.
Yeah, it was Wade.
Fish
Yeah, he
ball.
wanted blood straight up.
I'm not even angry.
That head looks like it's head-butted a few boats, so I don't know.
I've head-butted a
We'll
few
talk about the
fucking-
barra again.
I've head-butted a few fish.
But yeah, we got on the deck and it went 97.
Yeah.
And we're like, we sort of got
That was a
cheated.
PB. So I was
PB,
like,
yeah. We're
knack,
like,
knack.
we're cheated.
just
We've been
send
cheated here a
beers.
bit. And then
Yeah.
we went back through the GPS and had a look. And it was literally like donuts, wasn't it? We were just doing donuts on top of donuts on top of
Yeah,
donuts.
it looked like granny knots going down the fucking river.
So we pulled up for that night. I think we went right downstream that night. We didn't get many fish.
Can't remember, I sent it.
And then the next day, we did the same thing again. Flicked, got a few fish, ticked them over. And there was 2 boats pulled up on one of the creeks we fish, and they had sat there.
The night before, though, the night before, there was 14 boats.
Oh, yeah.
All
Sorry,
along
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All along that stretch,
Yeah.
there was 14 boats there. You couldn't even pull in, we couldn't even pull in to sound it. It was that full of just people with their leckies out and anchors dropped. It was chaos.
We'd fished till probably, what do you reckon it was? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock the
Dunno.
next day? Something like that. A few beers again. And then all of a sudden this boat, this was a big boat too. It was covering
that big
pretty much
orange bastard. It was
yeah,
like 9 metres long.
pretty much covering the whole mouth of this creek except one little top end
Was it Rexy?
off the end.
Was it Rexy?
No, I don't know who
It wasn't
No.
They actually fished
No.
the Nationals that next year. I never told him what we did, but anyway, he would have hated that. But they fished that. They got fish the first day we were there. They said that. And then the second day, they reckon they didn't get any fish there. So they moved, and all these other boats had disappeared, and there's one top ender left there, pulled up on the top side of this creek.
This cunt's bumping Mike.
So we looked at each other and like, good run off coming out of this creek. We're like, we've got to go in there.
Yeah.
So we pulled up in there,
Just to be specific, it was Lizzie.
It was Lizzie. It was Lizzie River.
So Lizzie.
It's like the most well-known creek on the Daly River.
Basically.
It has got probably the biggest floodplain besides Charlie's probably.
Pretty much. If I have
hanging
another
off the back
daughter,
of
it's
it.
going to be called Lizzie.
Lizzie, yeah.
I thought you were going to say Charlie.
No.
Yeah, he likes that too. But we pulled up there.
and
In the river.
And the river.
and the creek.
Yeah, right. Oh, slow, too slow.
So we pulled up at this creek, and then I don't know whether we went straight up to it. We bang fish straight up. I don't think it was straight away.
No, we got
put a little bit of time in there.
fish downstream from there, all good.
Yeah.
And then someone cracked the shits and they pulled anchor and they left. And then there was
That little top. There's only that one top end there, wasn't there?
no, there was 2 boats. So there was 2 boats and that big orange boat, and the orange boat fucked off.
Yeah, when he left.
And so we were like, oh, everyone else had dropped anchor, so we were like, oh, we'll just cruise in there
Going up into the prime spot
with the lecky, bang, get in. And you just went boom, 102.
Yeah, 102,
And then
jumped right between.
Yeah. And then
But
someone.
before we got the 102 though, the boat said, "Oh, we've got nothing here all day. It's been so slow today. We haven't got a single fish." And then it was I don't know how many casts, a dozen casts in or whatever. Bang, got the 102, jumped right between the two, and there's only 15 meters between the boats.
Yeah, not
It
not
jumped
much.
right
Like, it
between
was
us.
all real. Yeah, just
Both
a little
their
creek.
jaws hit the bottom of the deck.
One of them pulled the anchor, fucked off, and then there was just us and another boat, and then I think we caught another fish, and then
Not long after that.
they pulled anchor and moved in front of us to sort of say we'd pushed in and we're like, oh, do you want to come in or whatever? And they were like, nah, dropped anchor, and then we caught another couple fish behind them, and then they pulled anchor and fucked off, and then it was just us, and then you could see the moon rising behind us, and the sun was going down. It was like game on, and you could just hear them coming up the river. Just
When that happened, when those boats left though, we looked at each other like,
yeah, oh yeah.
is
I
there
was
a
standing
cyclone
on a
coming?
cast
Like,
deck with my
is
arms
there
up.
something
Yeah.
coming that's
Basically.
everybody's left? But we were just
I'm
like,
like, is
how
there a
good this?
tsunami?
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on, and then you tied on a.
I seen a big school of tarpon flush out from there, and I was like, oh, what have I got with a bit of silver on there? And I think I put on a crypto. B52.
It was B52 crypto, yeah.
Kryptonite.
Thanks, Cole.
First cast, and there was that big
Sneaky Reedy
shout out to Reedies.
Spono Cole.
There was that big laydown that went across the mouth that year.
Yeah.
And you kept getting snagged on it. And I've just wound down
we donated
and
some
just
tackle
gone
on that.
Goom. I'm like, oh shit, straight into it, and then this thing's just played up big time, eh?
It come out of the water, and I looked at it, and he's on one knee on my cast deck, looking back at me, and he's like, "Yeah, I wish you could take it." His face was like, you need to see his face. He was like, "Yeah, boy."
I've been hunting these
And
things
I'm
for
like,
3
hey,
years, and
I
then
just
it
turned
just
to his
come to
face and
fruit.
said, "Oi, it's not on the fucking net yet." And he's like, "Oh."
I'm like, shut up, cunt, get the net.
Put the game face
Yeah.
back on.
For some reason, it just is when you go, oh yeah, it might be it's high 90s, whatever, no worries, it might be a meter, and everyone's chilling and stuff,
Yeah.
and then it hits, you get them big bucket mouths that jump out, and you're like, that's definitely over, and then for some reason it's just way harder.
I just seen a 102 come out,
Yeah.
10,
Yeah. Well,
probably
we
20 minutes
yeah,
before.
it wasn't long before.
And I seen my fish come out, and I was just like, oh, that thing has smoked that.
Yeah.
So I knew.
Played it. It played up a bit too. Same thing, big jumps. Got it on the deck.
The one you got just fucking, it was like...
I think it was where it was
It's
hooked.
like a cardboard box just laid in the ground, and you
but
just
how
wound it in.
How was it where it was hooked though? It was hooked that far back in its gill case that the tail of the rubber was hanging out its gill case. So we actually cut the leader off, grabbed the lure out of the gill case, and pulled it back out its gills because the hook wasn't even hooked in. It was actually just latched around the stem of its gill,
like the white bit.
Yeah, there was no hook
righto,
in it.
fuck.
So if I had a slacklined it at all, game over.
See you later.
It would have been gone. So we pulled it. But yeah, anyway, we got Kel's fish in. What did it go? 105?
It was 105.
105 in.
Yeah,
So we
break my virginity.
clicked the angriest 97 in the world the night before, and then
That
bang.
thing went way harder.
What year was this?
20, I think it was 2016.
Don't know.
And then that was
Fuck, I was about then too.
10,000 beers ago.
that was only the start of it. Then we fished all night, just us.
You fell asleep standing up.
Literally, we caught so many fish. Like we were casting like 20 centimetre hard bodies into this creek, and Barra were just demolishing them.
We just tried to upsize to get bigger fish, and it didn't matter what you put on. You just whatever seen it would eat it.
We were leadering 70s, just like not even thinking that
it was
big.
like, ooh, good fish, and then you turn your headlamp on. But this is the amazing thing about this night. It was on the full moon, and the full moon come up behind us, so it was just like daylight into the creek that we were casting at.
How
like you didn't need a headlight,
exactly
you didn't need
exactly.
anything. It was just it was 100% perfect conditions, and
we're just
it went until
hooking these fish. We didn't get any more meteries that night, but we got so many fish that night. And in the end, we're just like, I'm sitting on my bench seat on the back of my boat, and I'm casting, and I'm just about nodding off to sleep, and it'll be like, oh, yep, I'm on again, Kel. It's like, oh, you going to sleep then? I'm like, yeah, bro, sorry. I was going to sleep.
Get the head. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and we heard this boat coming down. And I said to Parksy, turn the nav lights off, turn everything off, and just lay down. And we just laid down on the ground.
Oh, Mick, put the whippersnipper away. Mick's got the whippersnipper out.
I waited to start this before this old mate next door to Juddy's was blowing with a petrol blower.
I'll just throw my dog over. He'll sort it out. He'll go through him.
And then, he's going to go. He's up helping Parksy have a piss. So then I start the podcast when he stopped blowing, and now he's whippersnippering. So you're just going to have to deal with it, soz, and that. Yeah, Parksy's gone for a piss. What were we talking about? Full moon was up behind your back.
No,
These
got to
Parksy was up your
about
back.
11 o'clock, and we could hear this boat coming. So I said to him, turn everything off, and we'll just lay down. We'll lay down and we'll act like we're asleep. Because there was no other boats around. Everyone had just pulled the pin. Because unless you were on that spot in that creek, we were pretty kissed on the dick that trip. Like, we were pulling fish out of fucking nowhere.
Dogs.
But
you want to get a beer, Parksy?
This boat rocks up, and we're laying on the floor of the boat, holding our rods.
No, there's heaps of beers left.
Yeah, we got to bring that angle out.
Holding our rods, and you just hear this bloke go, that's liquid diet, that's Parksy, he'll get on the bourbon with us.
Yeah, the problem is my boat stands out a little bit. That's the issue.
Who was it?
See him go, fuck off, I'm asleep.
Big Nate Memo. He sold Runner to
Macca, wasn't it?
Don't know. Fishes with Tynan.
Don't know.
This is so bad.
Anyway. Don't know. Doesn't
Anyway,
matter. Fuck him anyway.
yeah.
John Smith.
He picked us straight away though.
And then Parksy's just like, oh, we've got to get up and have a beer with him. Got up, had a beer with him, and they were like, oh, you just got any fish? And in the background, it's just like, boof, boof, boof. Underwater boofs happening everywhere. Like, it was just on for young and old. And then, Jesus
Good
Christ.
work, Juddy.
Juddy's just turned up with a whole fridge. Juddy's just turned up with an angle full of beer.
You're not fucking around, are you?
Yeah, I'm not here.
He's a big D9, Juddy. He's a big D9.
So just quietly, I'm like 78 kilos, ringing wet,
You're
and
a skinny little run.
these coupler are fucking big diesel burners.
Oh, yeah, we're not.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Calm down.
Big
What do you mean?
diesel burners.
You want to go?
I'll go, yeah.
Wade's head looks like he's gone a few blokes with Juddy, so I wouldn't do that if I
Fucking lost every one of them too.
Just a slight comment from the side. Just because you can't catch fish, mate.
You'll be able to hear that.
But anyway, keep going, story. Or do you want me to?
No one gives a fuck.
Can't even
So
remember.
that night, so they come in and we sort of just kept casting and didn't take too much of it. And they're like,
They were maggot though. They were so drunk.
cast.
And the first cast, they threw a nilsy straight into the tree, like 20 metres up.
It must have been.
Shot it into the fucking orbit.
It must have been second
And
cast.
they're
then.
just like reefing on it, and we're like, oh, they're going to fuck it up. And we're like, oh, they can't really fuck
Didn't
it
they
up.
get like a 89 or something second
No,
cast?
it was more. It was like,
They got a big fish second cast. And then
they're just laughing at us going,
you blokes
You
can't
don't
catch
know
fish.
what's
Rah, rah.
happening.
So that happened that night. They kept fishing. We were knackered. Like we said before, I was literally going to sleep, trying to cast, and we were knackered. We caught a heap of fish, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, I think they were still going.
It was like fishing for yakkers. Remember when you used to fish for yakkers with the jigs?
Yeah.
And you just throw them down and there's just like 100 of them on your jig.
Like that Mark A lure, that 20 centimetre Mark A, another plug, Mark A. Good job, mate. Love you, Lewis.
They're fucking good, man.
They are good.
They are
Woodies,
good
mate. You can't beat the Woodies.
Piss.
Are we? Can we get Uber Eats? Yeah.
For beers.
That's probably
In Darwin?
Can
I
I
hope
be
you're
pissed off?
joking.
You'd think the guy that runs a podcast would at least sponsor the
Well,
piss.
fuck, I just bought a fucking box.
He won't even buy a
He
beer,
didn't buy
man.
a box.
Fuck me
One
dead.
box.
He wouldn't shout if a shark
Yeah,
bit
well,
him.
fuck. I forgot. I got some fucking bottomless piss.
This story's going on a bit. Anyway, we
it's
need to
good.
finish this story.
No,
No,
it's
no.
definitely
So the
going.
next,
I feel like I'm eating a gummy bear again.
I know.
I'm just sick of listening to Kel. Fuck.
So the next day, we were like, let's leave. And these boys didn't know we caught these fish the day before. We didn't know we pulled the 2 meteries out of there. They didn't know anything like that. So we're like, tide's kind of going to push in the morning. Let's go and have a trial. And your mate Jake knows all about this, Juddy. So we went downstream,
Jake
trolling
Lay.
down Jakey Lay.
Yeah, Jakey
we're-
Lay, listen to this,
Yeah,
bros.
Jake, you have a listen, mate. This is all on you. We were trolling downstream, and then we went past Diesel, another creek down there, probably, I don't know what it'd be, 5-10 Ks up from Lizzie.
not even.
Lizzie,
Not
it's
even.
only
It's
like
not, it's
that.
not far in it. Like 2 bends, 3 bends.
Yeah.
Timber-ridden fucking dog.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. And we went past, and we're like, ooh, there's a few fish there. So we turned around. Actually, sorry, we turned around and we come back downstream.
We done 3 passes over them.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh, we better turn around and do one more pass. And we click the motor into neutral, and we've been dodgy bastards. There 2 rods out each. So we're winding the rods in, and I grabbed my second rod and went crank, and all of a sudden it goes. I'm like, oh, I'm on. Cause like, what?
Right near
I
the
said,
motor though.
I'm on. And he's like, really? And then this thing come out of the water, and it was $3.
No, it was $1.04.
$4 come out of the water, and Juddy's mate, or our mate, Jakey Laves, across the river at Diesel
Diesel's.
watching us do this thing, and you can just about see him shaking his head at us. Bang, put that on the deck.
He was
that
definitely shaking his head at you.
Yeah, I thought he might have been. So that was 3 meteries we jagged on that weekend, X amount of fish, and we were actually supposed to stay another night, and we just looked at each other and just went, you know what?
But everyone we spoke to was just like, it's fucking tough. It's so hard. Like, this is fucked. Like, bad wet season, netters, all this shit. And
We
like,
doled it in pretty well, yeah. So we made the
we
call
just got
and said,
kissed on the dick. Yeah.
righto, let's go home. Like,
Cunts
we're
do
done.
that, eh?
So we made a point of driving all the way back to Lizzie, which is not far, a couple of corners.
all
the way back to Lizzie. Went back to Nath and said, look, just so you know, we smoked 2 meteries here yesterday, and we just did another one. And he's like, what? You blokes reckon you didn't catch many? Rah, 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 rah. So did that, and he's like, oh, they stayed there. And then we bumped into Bretto, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were at the Banyan farm.
Banyan, pulled the boat out at Banyan and bumped into them. And then they went down there that night and smoked it at Lizzie again. So
Yeah.
that's how good it can be at the daily. But then we went down the next year, and I think we landed like 3 fish. We landed like 3 or 4 fish for a couple of days and pulled the pin and exactly the same tides, same time of the year, but the runoff was different. The wet season was different,
Oh,
and we
wet
got our
season
asses
was
handed to us.
100%
Proper got our
different,
asses
yeah.
handed to us. So, but that's the polar. That's the opposites to it, isn't it? You know, it's good,
that's
and then
the
it
daily.
just kicks your ass. Yeah, but those good times is why you just go. Let's go back to the daily.
Right. On the side, because cunts are going to ask me questions about it. Justify trolling to me for Barra. Darwin.
Here we
Like,
go.
No.
Just up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like we're just focusing on Darwin. So justify, because comes from down south, shit on it, and like I know why people do, and that I can nearly guarantee there's been more meteries caught on the troll up here than there has been on the cast.
I'll give you a prime example of that.
Yeah, so why?
My
Based on Darwin.
my
Mac trolling or timber
No,
trolling?
not dumb cunts full of piss, put the rod in holders and just cruise. Like actual reading the sounder, trolling properly,
so say daily. For
Bumping
example.
timber,
bumping timber, for example.
bumping timber,
Yep.
or even trolling at Shady
Yep.
when you've got those fish in the top, fucking what?
Yep.
4 foot of water.
Oh,
Yeah.
they disappear off the sounder.
Yeah, on those tides that you troll
Yeah.
from on. Like, why? Justify it to me why trolling is better than casting.
I put it down to water temp. Why they sit in that water column.
Yep.
That's a... Or...
But what about, like... So,
you can't target them fish
people
casting.
debate
you
about
cannot.
flow.
Why?
See, I disagree. I've never done it, and I've heard other podcasts where people have spoke about doing it. Say daily, prime example, daily. You get that flotsam comes down the river, and the mullet hold to that flotsam, which, to clarify, the flotsam is all the excess timber, reeds,
leaves
bamboo,
and shit everywhere,
everything floats down. The big tides, it gets pulled in the river.
Then
and
the
they
bait hide in
down.
it.
The mullet hide in it. So I've heard of guys drifting down with that flotsam and casting at it because the barra are constantly hounding the fish that are holding in there. I've never done it. I have heard of blokes doing it though.
But-
Because
Okay, so
I prefer to troll that because you can cover more ground.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's, keep going.
If we mark, say we're trolling, say a push in tide example, say Gumby trolling as they call it up here, trying to push in tide. It's all right to be Gumby trolling and just want to troll. But if you're smart about the way you're doing it, you're not just trolling for the sake of trolling. You're marking fish and then you're coming back through that section again. Like the meter.
How long are your trolls? Like,
it can.
If you're reading your sounder properly and you're trolling,
I've 10Ks, 15Ks.
Yeah, I've trolled up to like 10Ks, and then once you locate something, you can change it up. Like if they're actually schooled while they're moving through that system, you can turn around and do like 50-meter trolls over fish.
Yeah,
like that's how we picked up that fish down the daily.
We went over and over, and then all of a sudden a bit.
Yeah. So why is it more efficient than casting? For that, in those situations, like
because them fish are moving with the tide, and the tide up here moves. Like it moves.
They're hammering in with a 7-meter tide. Yep. We're fishing the runoff. You can sit there and move with it. Those fish are already gone. And then, but if you work prime example, when Nadine got her metery, I was only doing.
Nadine's Shaddy's girlfriend, just quietly.
There was
partner.
80 boats at Shady. None of them were sitting on these fish. And I did 100-meter trolls for like probably 20 minutes just because they were sitting at 6 foot. And they're coming in. Like we moved probably 400 or 500 meters in that 20 minutes because the fish are coming in. And we've tried it, Wade. We tried it down the daily. You try and cast those fish that are moving with that tide.
That's all good. So there's going to be There's going to be like people putting stubbies down on the table. I'm not editing it out. Just suck it up. Don't whinge me about it on Instagram.
But with
I'll whinge about it because I did it.
Yeah.
But with that tide, by the time your lure hits the water and you wind your lure in, that fish has already passed your boat.
Yeah, well, you're not really casting at them and targeting them. It's all chance as well. Yeah. Same as trolling. Like it's the same principle. But then, if you're fishing them fish that are moving through, you can't really target them off your sounder because they're moving through that fast. So there's no.
They're a different kettle of fish, aren't they? Those fish are moving on that side.
So I'll give.
Whereas,
you go first.
Say the trolling the timber like we do, like you were brought up, not brought up, but you were taught that, Juddy, same as I was. That's how I was taught to fish a daily. The first probably 6 or 7 years I fished a daily, all I did was troll classics.
But clarified
on the timber.
Clarified timber trolling compared to Gumby trolling, like everyone.
So timber.
They think flat out lures in the rod.
Timber trolling to me is as slow as you can possibly go.
Explain that actually. But explain the tide. Explain how you do it with what.
So generally you're working on a push-in tide because you can get slower. So you're heading in towards a tide, whether it be a push-in or a run-out. You're heading in towards it.
Yep.
And as slow as you possibly can go. And the whole idea is to keep your lure in that zone, the zone being down in the timber, as long as you possibly can. So you're in and out of gear the whole time. I used to do it with classics all the time, plus 10 classics, plus 15 classics all the time. I know Juddy did a lot with poldies.
Yep.
You learnt with that. That's where we're slightly different in the way we've done it, and I think that's why. Back to the team thing. That's why we were so good with the team thing, because we had both different things. But you're trying to keep that lure in that timber the whole time, so you're getting a reaction bite from the fish. If that doesn't happen, the flip side to that timber trolling, though, for me personally, is nowadays, like even we did it a little bit, we'll troll over that timber trolling where back in the day all you did was bounce timber. Now we bounce timber.
Mick!
It's Juddy's dog.
Mate, he can go through a wall if he wants to.
Mick,
let him go.
Yeah. Now when we're trolling timber, we might do one run over that timber, and if we're marking 5 or 6 fish sitting on there, we might not troll over it again. We're dropping vibes on it. We're doing
you know that as 3 people, we're running 3 lures through there in a comp situation. You run 3 lures through there. If they're not going to hammer one of them, well...
Explain... Sorry, keep going. So finish your sentence, sorry.
Explain what?
Explain timber trolling. Because people don't understand.
So basically...
Trolling
your marker
trolling
bank...
timber is not trolling as people think the trolling. We're talking about the daily here too. Like there's,
can be anywhere, anywhere that there's.
Talk about
the actual
4 meters deep, running poulties.
Well,
you need on the electric.
So you use the timber and the buoyancy of the lure against the current, and then you hop the lure through that timber because the bib is the first point that's dragging over the timber.
So the timber faces downstream, right? Because it's flooded, like historically flooded. And you look, we're talking fucking huge trees, and you're facing. I don't know. I don't know. There's 100 different ways to do it, but the ways I've been taught was on a run-out tide, driving into that timber. So into the stick end of the timber, not the stump end.
Yeah, your headbutt.
Yeah, the root
basically, yeah, yeah. So like, no, the other end, the other way, outgoing tide.
Yeah, you're putting your lure
Anyway.
into that snag.
Whichever way the tide
like,
is,
it doesn't
you're running
matter.
your lure bouncing
So
through the
you're
timber.
driving right over the timber, and your lure is short, and you're using like what?
Plus 5 meter lure,
5
meter
meters,
lure,
5 meter
10
lures.
feet lure.
Depends on the
Classics are
depth,
plus
but
10.
So your lure is hitting. We're talking like stump jumper shit for
Yeah.
those dudes who
Yeah,
chase
they're
cod.
cods.
They'll know what they
Yep.
mean.
Yeah.
So we're talking fucking 5 meters of run. Normally like that good
Average,
green water
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're driving into the timber, and you're feeling it on your rod. You're holding your rod horizontal to even in front of your body, and then your lure gets stuck on those trees. You drop your rod back. So
Free spool.
And free
or free spool, yeah,
Free
depending
spool,
how bad it is. So it's stuck. You drop your rod tip back. That gives you a couple of feet, right? So the current and the flotation of your lure, the buoyancy of your lure, pulls your lure, floats your lure backwards and upwards, and then you can sit on one tree for fucking minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Working-
generally your bib and
It's
your
your bib.
line snags, not your
Yeah, it's never
Not your hooks.
normally your treble, and then
because they travel face down.
The ideal situation is to have that bib whack into that tree, whack into that tree.
Oh, yeah.
whack into
You're not in the zone
the whole
otherwise.
Fucking
time. That's
sparks
right.
them right up.
The
eh?
more
Yep.
times you can get that to whack
And
in
they
that
get
tree without hooking
angry.
up. Yeah, and they just, that reaction bite. And
Yep.
and when you hook them in there, it's
it's fucking
proper game
mayhem.
on.
You want to have your boats moving,
Oh,
so
it
you
is.
got the
It's
momentum.
fucking warfare.
Yeah, it
man.
is.
If
It's-
you hook a fish,
You're
on
literally,
snags,
you are jumping forward with that rod in your hand and trying to get 2 or 3 feet on them to rip them out
and drive the boat out.
as quick as you
Oh.
can, because otherwise they
You'll be-
dust you. They dust
You'll
you
be
so
fighting a fucking 60-centimetre fish. Like, it's
Playing
quick.
like
It's
it's
a
nothing
$1.10.
else,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
But it's once to teach someone to do it is the most frustrating thing you'll ever do in your life.
It's fucked 'cause they
because
just
you are
snagged.
constantly back.
they've got to teach
Putting lure
themselves.
poles down.
They've got
Yeah.
to feel
It's
it
so
themselves.
hard.
eh?
Yeah.
They think it's a
Brad-
bite, but that's the snag. So you're like, oh, there's a hit. Boom, hook second
Yeah.
the timber.
Well, Brad taught
No.
me,
Yeah.
and I don't know how he didn't do his heading because I was fucked.
If you can get 3 guys on a boat that can bump timber, you can do a section of timber that's say a 50-60 metre section of bank that is full laden timber,
The Wilson
and you
boys.
can bounce.
It's like
through it.
Chernobyl. It's just
you can
fucking
literally
hell on
bounce
earth.
through it, and it's like, yeah, I'm on free spool.
Yep.
Back.
And that shit you
All
can't
good.
cast.
No, you can't.
Like
You can't
Jamie,
cast
no,
it, man.
Jamie, the bloke that taught me.
Yeah.
He's a jet down there. Like,
Jamie Weir, give him a shout out.
Yeah, give me
yeah,
one.
Jamie, weirdo, where?
Stop sending me messages, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sick of looking at them.
I don't even.
He's
open
a jet on the
their
river.
Don't open
So
his
bad.
You know those
It's so
cunts. You know
bad.
those cunts that send you messages, and then like you get this video, and you don't know what it is.
You
Ben
don't know what
Wadley,
you're
Ben
just
Wadley,
do not
shout
open the
out.
cunt.
You're
Yeah,
bad.
what's your
Poo or
fucking
blood?
dirty cunt? Yeah, and it's just filth.
Wadley's fucked. For
How
it,
bad
though.
is it they're fishing together this year in the Classic?
Who is?
Wadley-
All of them.
Wadley-
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
sickos.
Fishing with
It's
all the
Team
sickos
Sicko.
together.
All the dirty
And
cunts.
Shields.
Shieldsy, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Wilson.
3
Wilson.
sickos. together.
Wilson.
Team Wilson. Team Sicko Wilson.
Exploded as fuck. Yeah, so I'll give another example on a sort of semi-different situation.
Fuck, the chickens look
Is
Oh,
Yeah, is it
how
burnt?
good is it? Nah, that's
fucking red
crispy.
Oh,
well, I'm going to take a photo of that and put it on the fucking
Yeah, that's
stories
crispy.
and that.
yeah, do it for the gram.
For
No
the
worries,
gram.
boys.
Thanks.
Zoom.
This took a bit of getting this chicken too. We'll put that
Yeah,
out there.
fuck.
Yeah, well,
Fuck me
Juddy
dead.
tried to just hand the chicken off. Said, no, do what you want with it then.
Bullshit. Puxy reckons we all got on the piss last night.
I didn't get on the piss. You did get on the piss.
Yeah, but
I was in bed by like 8:30.
How'd you go, Kel?
I don't know what even.
Kel, he was fine. He had a bit on. He was looking at the different river heights. We should go to the daily.
We got a
I
message.
went to the other side, man.
We got a message on our group chat that we've got last night, and it's a screenshot of the river rising, and because obviously we all love the daily, so we're watching the daily, and here's this screenshot comes up, and it's like, yeah, boys, and there's this big spike in the river, and I don't know what time it was last night. I just looked at the picture and was like, yeah, boy, that's sick. Like,
I didn't have any concept of time.
didn't even think about open it up and seeing where the actual screenshot was from.
Yeah.
And then Juddy, you must have opened it this morning.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he pretty much posted it as I went fishing with Wade this morning. Because I was like, oh, Kel's looking at that, and I was sober this morning. I'm pretty sure he was still up, but me and Wade went fishing this morning. We got up early, as you do. And then I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, Kel's keen as, and I'm looking at him like, that's the Vic River. So he's looking at a completely different.
Where is it in relation to Darwin?
Fucking
it just branches off the other way. So
might as
goes
well be
Vic
South
River,
Australia, mate.
or Roper, or Daly.
So that river's running.
Basically,
complete
it's in
opposite.
fucking WA.
Yeah.
Yes,
Most will be.
that's exactly where it goes.
But it did look good last night.
Kel pretty much
wasn't so
was going to come around and hook my
I
boat
never
up.
remember sending it.
Kel was going to hook my boat up, and all four of us were going to jump in it this morning, and we were going.
Go to Daly.
But we would end up in the Vic River if we had followed that.
Oh,
basically.
mate, I was so cooked.
Throwing dummies.
I thought I was going to fucking... Sorry, you go. No. Well, I keep interrupting you.
Well, that...
Fucking... I'll hear about it after I turn the
You're
mic
on that
off. You'll be
casting,
whinging.
bro. That trolling, the bump and tip.
Yeah, so
that's...
Another situation when I was with Wads. Shady Round, Tebs.
Yeah, well, there you go, yeah. You tell us how you...
example, yeah.
So you tell us how you...
fucking hate trolling with a burning passion. Hate it.
So I
I
grew
don't
up-
Yeah, but the
mind...
difference
my
between bump and timber
There is
in
no-
those
bump-
two
no,
rivers.
yeah, okay, so...
You can't bump timber in the
No,
daily.
okay.
And
There's two different scenarios.
I'll
Trolling is not trolling.
I'll reword.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll reword that. So, trolling timber is basically a complete offshoot of actual trolling.
well, it's like bumping timber for cod and then just drive
That's
out
how-
and
Even
bumping
then, I
timber
don't even
for
know if
whiting.
they do that like
Yes,
that.
they do.
If
I
they
used to do
do,
it back
like,
home.
slow
Yeah,
trolling.
100%.
I used to do
100%.
it back home
Yeah.
in Inverell.
Those stump
Shout out
jumpers
to the
are-
boys in
stump
Inverell.
jumpers for sure.
Yeah, the boys slapping it back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting into them down at Coton, but she's nearly empty. But we used to troll poultries and that. Well, we didn't have sounders and
Same
that, but
thing,
we still...
innit? Exactly.
You're still bumping timber. Your bib hits
Yeah.
the timber, and then you pull up.
Yep.
You're not just like rod in, rod out, or fucking
Nah, being
6 Ks an hour, fucking get blind. We
Yeah,
do that
so-
when the runoff's on, but
Yeah, I'll reword that. I fucking hate normal standard trolling. Timber trolling is different because you engage the whole time. You're feeling through your rod. Look at me doing my hands. Fucking.
yeah.
Yeah, you got shackers.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
he fucking start big shack
I'm
over here.
imagining it. So, like,
You want to see how he's holding the mic?
basically.
Did you imagine it today
There's no snare in my headphones.
when you marked those big fish and couldn't get a bite?
No, see, that's
That's fucking going fishing with
Fuck
Jody.
them
That
cunts.
shit happens.
Keep going though.
Yeah. Stop cutting each other off.
I've upset him now.
'Cause-
Me. No, I forgot what I was fucking.
No, you're talking about the difference between.
Yeah, so. Are
you running this thing, man?
Yeah, well, fuck. No,
We need
just
Mickey. At
fucking
least Mick's got control of the
dealing with
situation.
Fucking
eh?
idiots.
That's
You
it,
shouldn't
that's
have
it.
done a fucking podcast with retards.
Give me a cider, I'm done. That's it.
They're
Give me
gone
a cider.
home.
Meg,
They've
give me a
left.
cider.
Fucking woo.
Yeah,
so
Wildman.
timber trolling,
Wildman.
trolling timber like the way the boys just explained with deep lures and shit is completely different to actual normal trolling. So I went with fucking.
The
I hate
dirtiest.
fucking trolling, man. I hate
Trolling
it.
timber is
Hate it.
normal
I'm against timber.
But tell us the story about how
Yeah.
you like it.
Yeah.
We'll stop bumping
Stop
the
rattling
table,
the table,
so I
you
don't
must-
have
wasn't
to
me,
edit
not
bullshit
you.
out, and then we're good.
Edit bullshit. You have no podcast if you edit the bullshit out.
I'm not editing bumps out. You can
Wait.
all get fucked.
More to the point, where's the
Too many.
dicks?
Wait, no. Does anyone have a friend in Palmerston that can drop
Yeah.
a carton off?
Wait,
I need to
Yeah.
put this. I'm not even fucking joking.
we're
I'll
running
pay
out
for
of
the
piss
cunt.
quick time.
Do Uber Eats come here or not?
Dumb. Eh?
Do Uber Eats come here?
You can't get piss from
Why can't
Uber
you?
Eats.
Fuck.
It's 2020, Wade. We're
Fucking
responsible.
hell. Anyway, no one gives a fuck about
Is anyone
that.
listening to this? We need a carton immediately.
So he's getting upset now because he's ditched us Darwin blokes. He's going to
If there's any time travelers,
no Darwin, there's no Darwin.
can someone
anymore.
please
Wait,
bring us
wait,
a carton of piss?
let's get. Wait, he's getting off track.
You get on the beers, I'll
Spit
get
it
on the
out,
troll. You get on the beers, I'll get on the troll.
That's
How about that?
isn't that what we do in Darwin? We just get on the beers and troll.
Basically, that's what every.
Oh, that's how you get that.
That's
big
what all the
dogs,
Queenslanders reckon.
I don't want to hear about your problems. Tell us.
Listen to
about your
me.
trolling.
I want to hear this wild one because this is legit.
Nah, the Wildman's fucked.
For once, Wade actually trolled and it worked and smoked it. Thanks to
Jay.
Thanks to-
Why you don't just say nothing, mate?
thanks to
Don't just
Wadley.
go covered.
Wadley.
Yeah, story end. Done.
Yeah.
Podcast
No,
overseas.
no, it's good.
Fuck, no. Anyway, give me that. I don't have an issue with timber trolling because you're engaged the whole time and it takes some form of skill.
A lot.
In the Wildman, so we had a top end barra series round. I'm just trying to, like,
We've still got to talk about
Last year,
that too.
2019.
2019. So I'm trying to explain it so people who don't
I
know
missed.
the NT understand. So it's like multiple river systems in. There's like a bay that you're allowed to fish, and then there's a point, and there's another bay to the east of it, and you're allowed to fish to the mouth of the river in the middle of that bay. So most people fish the system where the boat ramp is at, which is
Shady Camp.
the bay Shady Camp. So
Everyone knows Shady Camp.
no, everyone here knows Shady Camp.
Everyone in Australia.
Fuck up, James. So Shady Camp, Tommy Cut, and then you go out of the mouth of Shady, fucking 60 Ks? I think it's 50, 60.
Shady's 30 odd.
No, out of the mouth, it's 40 Ks to the mouth of Shady, but
and then,
around
and
the
then it's
point.
about 30. Oh, no, you went there.
Yeah, I think it's like 50 Ks.
You're the one that
40,
ran out of
50 Ks.
fuel.
I could be completely wrong. Someone can tell me.
A couple of beers.
Few beers over.
He ran out of fuel.
Around the point, yeah.
It must be a long way.
I'll tell the whole story. So I picked up a dude, Wads. Fucking Wads.
He's a
Don't
unit.
start on wads.
Fucking-
Just
Just
tell
leave
your
it. Just
story.
leave
Don't
that.
touch on
That's a
wads.
full nother podcast, that
We're
one.
talking about trolling. We're already fucking an hour and 10 in. Anyway, round Point Stewart into the Wildman River, and we get there, cutting all the bullshit out. The tide comes in, and we start seeing these fucking donkeys moving. We're maybe 5-6 meters deep of 5-6 meters deep of water, rock bars.
Caddies.
Wildman's pretty boring, so it's like there's not a lot of timber. It's just a pretty straight.
Mangrove.
Yeah, it's basically a pretty standard river. Like, there's not a lot of stuff to cast at and carry on. There's a bit, not much. Anyway,
It'd be 300 metres wide at the mouth?
yeah, I reckon.
It's a big system.
It's a big system. It's fed by a lot of floodplains.
Oh, it's like 50 Ks up to the floodplains.
Yeah, it's a fair way up. It's a big system fed by a lot of floodplains, and it's, for a non-trolling person, it's not the river you'd sort of go to cast much.
Well, fish don't really bank up anywhere.
Nah,
or stack
not in my
or-
opinion. So, and I'm no guru either. So these fish were like in 3 foot of water, and the tide was fucking ripping in at 10, 12 knots, ripping in.
Full flood
fucking
though.
roaring,
full
man. And,
flood though.
Yeah, full flooding. And you could sit there and spot lock and cast 100 casts, you might get one fish. Or you could troll and cover ground, follow the fish. So what we were doing was, on the incoming tide, we'd mark them, troll over them, get a couple, land them, score them, let them go, take photos, all that bullshit, and then your mic's still off, cuss. Yeah. Oh, patting the dog.
Pat and Mick.
And then
Yeah,
get on the
poor Mick.
plane and go up
Good boy,
200
Mick.
300
Good boy.
meters. Get on the plane, go up 200 or 300 meters, and then meet them there again, and then
Chase 'em. Just
chase them up,
chase 'em,
chase them
yeah.
up the river because they're moving so fast. They're basically not even swimming; they're just sitting there in the current, drifting with the tide.
But you're using
That's
your,
the basic principle we do at the daily.
Yeah, and
We
then-
were talking about the trolling before.
then
but
you
you're,
get up
using
the-
your you're finding the fish, you're looking at the depth, and then you're putting the lure.
So we're
It's
trolling
like-
for like 100 meters, 200 meters, stopping, catching. It was going off its fucking head, so we were catching fish. But we were catching fish, and then on the plane literally for 200, 300, 400 meters, and then stopping, putting the lures out and trolling again and meeting those
Target
fish.
Mac troll.
Yeah, basically targeting those fish, like not fucking around. And then as the tide turned, those fish went back out downstream, settled in behind eddies, in rock bars, in behind bank slips, in timber, and that's when we went to cast. So I think it's quite justifiable to troll up here. Like, a lot of people shit on it.
Especially on that incoming, man. That incoming up here.
It's fucking dirty and
just-
it's roars in, man.
Exactly what you've described then is the ideal scenario, which is that's the way we fish. It's the way we fish the daily. It's the way we fish a lot of the big rivers. Exactly
I think it's
that.
just-
And people
it's-
that rag on the trolling. Like, I was trolling 100%. I never did a lot of casting. It was a lot of trolling flat out. I started to meet a few of these guys, and they cast flat out, like a lot of casting.
Yeah.
So then I switched to the casting, and now, I mean, at Tebs, like, we've fished Tebs together, Kel, probably, 3 years? And we probably do, what would you say, 60-40? 60 casting, 40 trolling, depending on the spot.
Oh, try and narrow it down to mac trolling. That'd be like...
We don't do a huge amount of mac trolling.
10%?
But the casting for me has come in hugely since I've met these guys, because I was a troller.
Yeah, but you attribute that to sounders. Like
100%. We're marking.
It's so easy to
easy
to narrow in on fish with the sounder.
Like back in the day, I had dodgy old, not dodgy,
but like
the original HCS 5.
If you use the best technology that you've got now, and then sat in the middle of a river and slowly drove up it on the incoming tide, you can't target fish.
You can't cast the cunts either, man. You cannot.
You've got to troll them.
I'll eat my fucking hat.
It's just you've got a chance.
We spent 2 days trying to do it.
Someone up here get at me, whether you can fucking cast them fish consistently as efficiently as people who are trolling.
I was saying earlier that podcast I listened to, I think it was Steve Starling for some reason. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway.
But anyway, I remember listening to him talk about it, and he was saying that they did it at the S-Bends. That timber, back on the daily, that was floating down the middle. I've got a feeling they'll use them fly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and
I know.
They were just basically going down with
drifting
the timber,
with like the shit.
And they just kept constantly casting at it because that's where the bait was, and that's
But fly's different too, because you can just lay, do 2 strips, pick up and lay.
If you were casting a big shallow lure, even a bomber, for example, you couldn't tell me if you've had a big patch of that flotsam coming out of daily, you couldn't slowly motor glide down with it.
I'm pretty sure
fish that are coming in with the tide.
Jez has done it too. Jez Johnson, shout out, bro.
I'm pretty sure Brad.
Get around it, Jez.
Brad, as in wife.
They're not hanging around in that top water column because they're just riding the tide. Like, they're aggressive. They're ready.
They're just using the tide to travel. They don't swim. You just see them on the sounder and just sitting like.
They don't have to swim. They're getting carried up, so they're not using energy.
Do what we do, and we troll so big at distances to try and find those fish.
Yeah.
So once you find them, that's what we were saying before. We're going back on what we said before, but you're going back and forth over them again for that area. But if you drifted with that floatsam, I can see how that'd work. 100%. It's got to work.
Yeah, 100%. But is it as efficient as trolling? Well, you don't fucking know, I suppose.
You're not until you do it. You're not covering the ground, but you are staying where the bait is. So you find the bait, you find the fish.
Well, you were just about to tell a story about the creek you were in the other day, like end of this year.
Where?
About trolling.
Oh.
Yeah, about...
We were today.
You said you learnt the hard way.
Yeah, so I've done a few trips there.
So you were with Kel.
Yeah, well, it depends on what tide you're there. Like, I go to this one spot and you always see fish. And it's the low tide because it drains out of the mangroves and that. It's at a river. Like, this time of year, obviously we haven't had the wet season, so it's still sort of that, what we call the build-up fishing. Everyone in Darwin knows the build-up fishing. So we're
still going to have build-up in March, where we're going, Juddy.
It's fucking hot. Like, me and Wade were out fishing today, and we had to launch early because of the tides. And it was fucking, the sun wasn't up, and we were sweating balls because there's no fucking wind. And it's like, fuck, it's going to be hot today. But anyway, the tide had come out of the mud, and I'm like, they'll come on here. I've worked it out. I've done a heap of trips, sort of starting to work it out a bit, given that these are the wrong tides I went there, given what the scores we got today. But
sometimes you got to look at the wrong tides, though, Juddy, to figure out whether you just seeing the back end of a good bite window or you're just seeing the start of a good bite window, you know?
This is an area that I'm trying to nut out myself, well, with you lads as well, obviously, because we only fish, there's pretty much 3 of us and Wade, and that's pretty much who we fish with, and a couple of other blokes, and that's about it. Because the Barra politics in Darwin's fucked, but we won't go there. We won't go there. But
what politics?
That's another 2-hour podcast.
But anyway, what Wade was talking about this morning was a perfect scenario. We had fish sitting on a mud flat, about 2 foot of water. They were buffing, eating prawns because of rain. We've had a bit of rain, but it's still not to the point where you're not going to go to these spots. And they're just eating prawns, and we cast for ages, marking them, casting. Get on the lecky, go for a lecky trail. So we've got the hard bodies out the back, and we're marking good fish. If you see, I'm pretty sure Wade shared it today, the screenshot. So we sat on fish probably 3 or 4 hours and I'm talking 90 plus fish, like
Dumb
bulk,
dog barrows.
Yeah.
Dumb dogs.
big dogs.
Lockjaw.
And then there comes a point where you got to, like Wade was saying, you need to get on the troll because the fish aren't sitting on the mud.
Yeah.
They're sitting in 6 foot of water and the tide's pushing in. So we had, I think it was 4 metres of movement, 5 metres of movement today. So it's not a dead neat, what we call a neat, where there's no movement. This is sort of in between. The neep's tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, 3 tide day tomorrow.
yeah.
3 tide day.
So
Well, no, just the whole trolling thing's a bit easy to target that depth.
that's right. You
when
can't
you can
cast.
see, like, we can see where the fish are, what they're doing, fucking everything.
Yeah, you can.
So,
you can't.
target
You can
that
roll
depth.
hard bodies through, but they're going to get down to that depth. But when you're trolling, and like we today, we're the only boat there, so I use the Alecki so you don't turn the outboard on. It's a bit quieter. They're still getting to that depth, but still didn't happen. They didn't turn on, but
But you covered all bases though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like that up here.
you lads
soak
over there
some
in
squid.
Queensland know what
No
lockjaw's
squid.
like.
Do
And
you use some live bait, mate? I know how much you
Fuck off.
love soaking live bait.
fucking dirty life baiters.
Bit of background on the live bait. Juddy hasn't quite ticked off the dollar yet either, and we've
Fucking
been
dropped enough, though.
We've
Fuck.
been, yeah, he's dropped a few. We've been giving him heaps, saying just come out to Shoal Bay. We'll do a live bait trip. We'll go and just lock into a hole, soak some mullet. Nah, there's no way I'm going to soak a live bait. I don't want my first meter in a live bait. No way.
It's called a purist.
Yeah, no,
He's a
just
full
called
purist.
stubborn. He's a stubborn son of a bitch. That's what it is. So, but we've always said, and between the group of friends we've got, the worst part's going to be because I hate to say it while he's listening, he is a good fisherman, Juddy, and he just hasn't quite ticked it yet. The problem's going to be he's going to be the dog that ticks $1.20 or something big on
Fucking
his first
oath,
meter.
cunt.
Yeah.
Your dual world
One
record.
of you blokes will be there, so it's all good.
All the shit we give him is going to come back and bite us all in the arse. I can see it straight away.
Mind you, I haven't netted a metery for Parksy. I fucking netted a
got
metery
one
for
me.
Kel and Tabs, the shady. Should have been a caddy or something, but
I think
it was
you
good
got
fish.
one, Parksy, you got one for
See,
me.
Wade's like me. He can't catch
I got
meteries
two for
either.
you.
I fucking can't. I
Yeah,
don't
you got two for
even
me.
give a fuck
Yeah,
about
'cause
them.
remember, hey, actually, there's another story.